a bit of a dilemma. Oh, I don't know. I don't think I'd call it a dilemma. I think I'd just call it a progression of progress. The freedom stand is the principle, but I wanted to put a running engine on this display stand, and this engine here is just bolted together piecemeal. It don't have no pistons or nothing in it. The crankshaft's bad. I've got enough parts to put one together. Two-cylinder multi-motor Maytag Model 72, and these right here are new old stock pistons, and I brought a few here just for show and tell, and I had done already put the mic on it. You can't use a 1-inch mic on a 1.5-inch piston. You have to get out the this right here happens to be a general. I mean, it's El Cheapo. I bought it at the yard sale used some time ago for, probably $1. It's a good one. New old stock that's never been into an engine. If you mic those, they're all exactly the same. Very good machining. I just brought these examples. That's enough to get an average. Comparing this piston to the cylinder, and these have not been cleaned up or anything, but I just put one in. I just put one in yonder kind of to feel, get a feel for how much play it is, and it's hardly none. To the point where you can push that piston up, cover up the spark plug hole to make a vacuum, and the piston won't come out. Let go of it and it falls out. It's to the point where it'll pull a vacuum. Let go, it will come out. A good, nice fit. I'm gonna say 1/1000th or so, and that was the measurements on the micrometer. I found it quite interesting that I got a graph. What I would call a 1.5-inch piston. Actually, put the micrometer on it. It was 0.02 undersize. That's the piston size. This is the new old stock right here. Now, there was pretty good cylinders, and that's what I was going to use. I'm not going to use these right here. I'm going to go ahead and build an engine. I've got a crankcase, done already started cleaning it up. It's got really good bushings in it, so I will not have to replace them. I had already laid in a couple of bushings in case I did. I will put this, I cleaned it up a little bit. I'm going to put in an electrolysis tank before I work it anymore. I'm going to do some metal shaping on it, and this is the 2 cylinders that we're going to use, and they look very good. Yeah, you could actually use them like they are, but in practice, I am going to use new rings. So in practice, you actually need to break the glaze on that cylinder. And all I'm going to use, this is just a little brake hone, and this is a real fine stone that's in there. It's really fine. You put that right up in yonder like that right there. Put your drill on there. Get it started. And you don't want to be all I'm doing is breaking the glaze. Remember that. I'm not honing the cylinder or nothing. And I sprayed some PB Blaster in yonder. And I'm just going to make, you just watch this right here. Y'all see that? That's all I'm going to do to that cylinder. No more. That one's done. I'm going to try to do the equal amount to this one. In this case right here, you saw what a good fit we had. All I'm doing is so I think it makes the rings. See, okay. See, I was going to go too much, but that's all I'm going to do. Just the minimum. And I do want to leave I want to leave a cross hatch in there, and if you do one, you might as well do the other one. So we just go ahead, you getting more than your money's worth here, because normally you would just get a pair. Okay? I'm going to say that I'm going to wash those up, but that's just to bring us up to date to where we're at. And I'm not going to fool around with building this engine. I'm going to get it done. Leave a comment. Hey, do y'all want me to tell you a shop tip? When you're putting your hones away, instead of just throwing them over yonder and get your stones all nicked up, what you do is this right here. That used to be one of those tubes you put over a fluorescent light for OSHA. Said you're supposed to put a fluorescent light bulb inside one of these plastic tubes in case it gets broken. Anyways, you cut your little whatever size you need and you put that right in there like that, and it's a perfect holder for your small hones. Shop tip. Discovery number 2. In this engine that I took the pistons out of, the pistons, the pistons right there. I mean, you can look at those pistons and tell that they were a match set, a pair. The discoloration is identical. The wire pattern's identical. Even the top, the texture, the color, you can tell that those two pistons lived in the same engine. Well, somewhere along the line, for some reason, and I have seen it before, rarely, but I have seen the change made, and I don't know why. It's unusual. Someone has this bottom groove down here would normally have one ring on it, and someone has put this in the lathe and turned it out. You see them 2 rings? That's 2 of them together, and they fit perfectly in that groove. And this one, now you can see the ring that should go there now is too narrow. See, it won't fit either place. The thick ring went right in the bottom right there, in that bottom groove, and it fits really good. This is a good piston. And the other 2 fits in the top. When you put this in there, when you put this piston in the and this is kind of important. You know, you're going to know it, but it's kind of important. When you put this piston in that cylinder, in the engine, when you install this piston, that long groove right down here, see the piston on the head is kind of made a little bit different. This long part down here goes to the bottom. This here goes to the top. That's important. Observe that at all times. This here will be set right with a pair of matched pistons. And I've installed the rings on this piston here, and when you put that in the engine, it will go like that right there. This right here will be the top, that'll be the bottom. The ring grooves is a matter of contention, but you don't want a ring gap on the top. You don't want a ring gap on the bottom. I'm talking about ring gap. Y'all see this thing? This is the furthest ring out this way. You see a gap over here? There it is. You don't want that up there at the top. You don't want it down there at the bottom. I tend not to put it at the side. I have found that some of the new lubricants are just too good for these old engines. So slick that your rings don't seat. Remember, we're dealing with cast iron here. Cast iron cylinder, cast iron ring. We're going to put the match set in the engine. We're going to keep this other one for show and tell. There'll be no reason to use it. Just it would take 4 rings on this piston. It's still good. I will use it.